After almost 11 years of waiting, we finally got the announcement of a brand new console, Mario Kart. Which, hey, we got it 7 years earlier than I thought. One of Mario Kart's main features is its retro tracks. Tracks from previous Mario Karts remastered to fit in the new game's mechanics. Now, I'm no stranger to retro tracks. Just ask myself from June of 2022.
Job picking the tracks. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Mario Kart's retro tracks. But did you know that all but one of Mario Kart 64's tracks have been made? In Mario Kart...
Okay, that's enough. Anyways, I've decided to predict what retro tracks could be coming to this new Mario Kart. But first, some rules, like what to call this new Mario Kart. Well, to make things less confusing, I'll just call it Mario Kart 9. But when the full game gets fully announced, I'll change the name in like the thumbnail or whatever. Next up, I will be predicting 24 retro tracks rather than 16, since I technically already predicted Mario Kart 9's retro tracks a while ago. So this will make it a little bit more distinct from that video. And to make things somewhat balanced, there will be 1 track from Super Mario Kart, 2 from Mario Kart 64, 3 from Mario Kart Super Circuit, Double Dash, DS, and 7, and finally 6 from 8 Deluxe. Kinda. I'll get to it when we get to 8, so put an asterisk on there. And a final thing, I will try to avoid tracks that are already in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and its Booster Course Pass, because if I just add fan favorite tracks that are already in 8 Deluxe to 9, then what would be the point of returning to 8? I want both of these games to coexist together in a perfect harmony. With all that out of the way, let's go. Starting off with Super Mario Kart, taking away all the previous tracks that have been remade, we have 10 tracks to choose from. Those being Ghost Valley 1, Bowser Castle 1, Choco Island 1, Bowser Castle 2, Koopa Beach 1, Vanilla Lake 1, Mario Circuit 4, Ghost Valley 3, and Vanilla Lake 2. I was very tempted to go with Mario Circuit 4 since there's no other track with the number 4, so it's pretty unique. But I have a better Mario Circuit to add to the retro tracks from a different game. Then I thought Vanilla Lake since it's never been remade in any mainline Mario Kart game, not counting Tour. But then I thought, who the hell would want to play on Vanilla Lake? So in the end, I decided to go with Ghost Valley 3 since it's a pretty unique haunted boardwalk. Well, since I have no other spooky themed tracks on my list, I guess I can go with Ghost Valley 3. Now we're on to Mario Kart 64, where there's 1 track from this game that's never been remade. You've all heard of this track, it's Wario Freaking Stadium. Looking back, I kinda wish this track was remade for 8 since it has the most potential with the track's length to have all types of sections like anti-gravity, glider, underwater. And looking now, I realize I got what I wanted. But for the next track, every other track has already been remade. So I decided to take the tracks that were remade in DS since they've gone the longest without being remade. You. Those being Moo Moo Farm, Frappe Snowland, Choco Mountain, and Banshee Boardwalk. We can quickly eliminate Choco Mountain for being an 8 Deluxe and Banshee Boardwalk because of Ghost Valley 3, leaving us with Moo Moo Farm and Frappe Snowland. At first, I was going to go with Moo Moo Farm, but then I remembered that track is trash, so Frappe Snowland it is. Not every track needs to be a fan favorite. We also need some basic tracks to forget about, and Frappe Snowland fits that definition. So, Super Circuit, what great tracks to choose from, like Sunset Wilds and Sky Garden? That's okay, we're just gonna have to work with what we got, like Luigi Circuit, Bowser Castle 4, or Yoshi Desert. Well, I'm gonna be different. Well, besides the fact that I'm gonna predict GBA Rainbow Road, but that's besides the point. First off, we need a starting track to start off the Shell Cup. So let's go with Peach Circuit, since it's basic but unique enough to start off the retro tracks. So we have GBA Rainbow Road and Peach Circuit. And for the last track, I would have gone with Bowser Castle 4, but I'll get to why I'm not gonna add it later. So let's go with the next best thing. If I can't have a lava track, then I can have a track that shoots out lava, that being Lakeside Park. So now, if we have Mario Kart 9 running alongside 8 Deluxe, we have Riverside Park in 8 Deluxe, while we have Lakeside Park in 9. Mario Kart Double Dash probably has one of the greatest track selections out of any Mario Kart. Too bad most of the good ones are in 8 Deluxe. But they also have Dry Desert, so they can keep that fraud. Let's just lock in Mushroom City and Wario Coliseum since they've never been remade. Sure, you can make the argument that N64 Wario Stadium is already predicted, so why add Wario Coliseum? But Coliseum is a pretty unique track, being only 2 laps, so it's pretty cool. As for Mushroom City, well, it just looks cool. And with 24 racers, it'd be pretty crazy, with every racer having to take different paths. Kinda like Yoshi Valley. But that track's already innate, so boohoo. And for the last track, I would have gone for Baby Park, but instead I'm gonna go with the next best thing again, picking Luigi Circuit. That's right, Luigi Circuit, like the figure 8 looking track. Since it'd be kind of funny having 24 racers passing each other on opposite lanes if you're far ahead and having to suffer through the last place items. Or if you suck at the game, you have to throw items at the good racers who are ahead of you. But not me, I'm actually good at the game. Moving on to Mario Kart DS, where we have such classics as Airship Fortress, Figure 8 Circuit. Yeah, Mario Kart DS is probably the easiest game to pick retro tracks from. First off, Airship Fortress, a fan favorite track that didn't make it into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because of Mario Circuit. But I like Mario Circuit. So it's your fault! Airship Fortress is one of the most popular Mario Kart tracks in the entire franchise, and I have a feeling that if it doesn't come back, Nintendo headquarters might as well be reduced to rubble. Anyways, another track that I want to see return is Delfino Square, which we haven't seen since Mario Kart Wii 17 years prior. It's also pretty unique and the only town track I predicted. And for the third DS track, well, we haven't done a Bowser's Castle. Sure, GBA Bowser's Castle 3 would have been a good pick, but I want to go with DS Bowser's Castle. I really want Bowser's Castle to make it a 9 because I just think it's a neat track. It doesn't have a giant Bowser statue, but not every Bowser's Castle needs that. Plus, there's a spinny pole. Name another Bowser's Castle that has a spinny pole. Mario Kart Wii, like DS, is probably the easiest game to pick retro tracks from. Since 11 out of 16 Mario Kart Wii tracks are already in 8 Deluxe, that eliminates fan favorites like Coconut Mall, Maple Treeway, and of course, Grumble Volcano. So looking at the remaining tracks, we have Luigi Circuit, Toad's Factory, Mario Circuit, Dry Dry Ruins, and Bowser's Castle. We can quickly eliminate Bowser's Castle because of the DS remake, and to be honest with ourselves, do you really want Mario or Luigi Circuit? That leaves us with the 2 most obvious choices, Toad's Factory and Dry Dry Ruins. These are both some of the most unique tracks in the entire Mario Kart franchise. Starting with Toad's Factory, I mean you literally get to drive inside of a factory where they make the item boxes. Sure, it's a little on the shorter side, but who cares, listen to that music. As for Dry Dry Ruins, despite being a desert, it's distinct enough as you actually get to drive inside a temple. And there's even a Yoshi Sphinx. Now, as for the third track, I'm gonna have to break my rules a little bit. I'm going to pick a track that was already in 8 Deluxe, but which one am I gonna pick? I'm gonna go with DK Summit as it's not as popular as Coconut Mall or Rainbow Road. So I think it could work as a Mario Kart 9 track. And also, I like DK Summit. As for Mario Kart 7, there are a bunch of different options to choose from, but because we already have a bunch of tracks similar to them, we'll just get to eliminating. Shy Guy Bazaar is too similar to Dry Dry Ruins, Wario Shipyard would be the third Wario track, and despite everyone loving Wario, that's too much Wario representation. Bowser's Castle, DS Bowser's Castle. Music Park, 8 Deluxe. Cheap Cheap Lagoon, sucks. So that leaves us with 4 pretty good options. First off, Daisy Hills. Sure, it's nothing special, but it could work as a simple track placed in the Shell Cup. Next up, Mario Circuit. We haven't had a retro Mario Circuit so far, so why not add one of the best ones? And for the final track, I want it to be one of the Wuhu tracks since they're pretty popular and they're also long. So I'm just going to go with Maka Wuhu rather than Wuhu Mountain Loop because I like Maka Wuhu. It's sunset and also there's a pretty castle. Mario Kart 8. What am I going to do with you? You get 6 retro tracks, 1 for each cup. So I'm going to predict 3 retro tracks that are in your regular Nitro tracks. Starting off with Thwomp Ruins. It's a pretty unique track as you drive through some stone ruins of swamps. Some would say it's too similar to Dry Dry Ruins, but Dry Dry Ruins is a desert track while Thwomp Ruins works more of a tutorial track showing off anti-gravity. Next up, I'm going to be adding one of my favorite tracks from Base 8, Shy Guy Falls, just because it's a good track that I want to see return. Finally, I'll add Sunshine Airport since it's another unique and popular track. Now, for the second half is where things get kinda complicated. You see, in 2015, Mario Kart 8 received DLC adding 16 new tracks, 9 of those being Nitro tracks. I think I'm only going to be adding 1 of those tracks. And I'm going to be adding Super Bell Subway as it's not too complicated like the F-Zero tracks, but it also isn't Excite Bike Arena. Now for the last two. I'm gonna pick one of the Tour Nitro tracks that appeared in 8 Deluxe. Are these technically Tour tracks? Yeah, but they also don't have the Tour prefix, so they're fair game. I'm gonna go with Squeaky Clean Sprint since it's not a complete circle like Sky High Sunday. And for the last track, we obviously have to go with the only Mario Kart track to be stuck on a mobile device, being Piranha Plant Pipeline. Now to quickly organize them, my prediction should look like this. I am very excited for the next Mario Kart game. I want to see what new things Mario Kart 9 brings to the table. And we only have to wait around a month, as on April 2nd, the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct will happen. And hopefully they'll unveil more news about Mario Kart. And if they announce that there will be no retro tracks, then I'll be very disappointed.